How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this one we're going to be doing a care guide and species review for this little Bobby Dazzler, the Albuca Spiralis Frizzle Sizzle. What an awesome name, and what an awesome plant. Are you getting this? So cool. And if you're in the UK, good news, these are really easy to look after. Bad news, you can't get one anywhere. This was by far the hardest houseplant to track down. I'm telling you, it was almost impossible. I'd pretty much given up hope of actually finding one of these, and literally just on the last moment I checked this website of a garden centre I've never heard of before, a long way away, well, a long way away for the UK, probably about 5 hours away from me, in just outside Newcastle, I think, and they had one left. And in fact, while she was calling me to let me know there was only one left, there was another call from someone inquiring about this plant. So it's crazy. For some reason, there's just none available at the moment. I even went to the growers website, the Dutch growers website, not that you can buy them from them. They only sell wholesale to the trade and garden centres and houseplant shops. But I went onto their website and they have none. So really difficult to get hold of. So if you're in the UK and you see one in like a local garden centre somewhere, they've got one left, grab it, because I'm not expecting you to be able to get hold of one anytime soon. So it kind of sucks, but hopefully the growers will be able to have some ready to send out to the UK pretty soon, fingers crossed, because these are just the most amazing looking plants. Would you check out those leaves? It's like a bluey green hue to them, and obviously some amazing spirals for the leaves which look amazing. And down here, or up here, we've got a big flower spike and quite pretty sort of downward facing bell flowers, which already have an unbelievably sweet honeysuckle sort of scent to them. And if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that I'm a sucker for a sweet smelling houseplant. It's like a double whammy. It's like you get an amazing plant and an amazing scent. And this has only been in the potting shed for about 5 minutes, and it has already filled the shed with an amazing scent. And there's only one, not even one out yet. There's just starting to come out. And we've got all of these that are not actually coming out yet. So I'm looking forward to the full flowering of this. But if you've got one of these, if you found this video because you've got one and you want to find out a care guide, that's coming up. But stay tuned to the end, because there's a peculiar character trait with these, which means you could be throwing out a perfectly healthy plant. So stay tuned, I'm going to tell you all about that. Alrighty, so the Albuca Spiralis originates from South Africa, as a lot of houseplants do actually. I'm planning to go to South Africa as soon as we're allowed to travel, so hopefully I'll be able to bring you along and show you some of our favourite houseplants in their natural habitat. That would be cool, wouldn't it? I'm looking forward to that. Fingers crossed it won't be long now before I can get travelling again, and maybe we can go on some houseplant adventures together. So make sure you're subscribed for those videos. But for now, this one comes from South Africa, the Western Cape actually. So on the other side, a lot of the time it's Kwazulu Natal where they come from, which is like a subtropical sort of climate, very high humidity often, unless it's up in the mountains, in which case it's slightly different. But these ones, Western Cape, so more of a Mediterranean climate actually. They don't ever get really hot like in some parts of inland Africa. They're going to get maybe 27 degrees Celsius maximum. But never that cold, down to about 15 degrees in the winter. So a pretty temperate climate, but yeah, fairly easy to look after, not very demanding. Going to take an average amount of water, maybe once a week you can water this and it's going to be happy. It's a bulb related plant, so if you scrape away the soil here, you're going to see a bulb, which means it's actually propagated by division. As it grows and gets bigger, it's going to have offsets like these guys have got offsets, and as they grow up they will have lots of smaller plants growing from the base. And so when it comes time to maybe repot the plant, then you can divide the offsets as long as they've got a little bit of root on them, and then you can have lots of nice baby plants, which is pretty cool. Oh, I just love the look of this plant. I can't stop looking at it. I'm so pleased. It makes it even more impressive knowing that I almost missed out on getting this. So I am a little bit pleased with myself at the moment. But that sort of bluey green hue, I hope you're picking that up on the camera. I'll see if I can get you some B-roll footage to further accentuate that.
So casually keep diving into concrete. So bittersweet, huh? Keep losing sleep while driving in the backseat.
Really love the hues. Such a range of different colours for just green. You know, green, you think houseplants, leaves are green, you know, but there are so many different shades and hues to just green. It's almost got like a slightly sort of powdery whiteness to it as well. The more you look, the more you find with these, and the structure and the architecture of these circles, you know, they're tightly wound at the base here and they're sort of more looping at the top. It really is, you couldn't make a better sculpture. That is, you know, like a real life nature sculpture, and you could easily see that in some sculptor's workshop, and it is just beautiful. And ultimately sculptors are probably trying to recreate nature in some of their designs, I'm sure, because nature does a pretty good job of it. Isn't that cool? Love it. Now, what were you saying? Care guide. So comes from South Africa, comes from the Eastern Cape, so doesn't get hugely hot, doesn't get hugely cold, an average amount of looking after. Don't let it get too cold, fairly easy, keep it indoors. If you're in the UK and Europe, you can probably get away with keeping it outside if you want to in the summer, just as long as the nights don't get below 15 degrees. It's all good, but be perfectly happy inside. A reasonable amount of sunlight is going to be happiest in Godverdomme. Bly if these plants get too much shade, then you may lose the spirals, because I believe the spirals are almost generated by the amount of sun. So get plenty of sun, it's going to nice tightly cropped spirals. Less sun, more of these type of thing. But if it doesn't get enough sun, it's just going to grow straight up and not be frizzly or spirally at all, which would be a shame. So plenty of sun, bright, and we'll be happy in direct sun as long as it's not all day long. You don't want the harsh midday sun because you might catch a bit of leaf scorch on there, but otherwise it's going to be happy if it catches a bit of sun. That's fine. Certainly in a bright sunny position. Water it once a week, let it dry out for a bit, water it again. Terracotta pot helps it not sit in it's not going to sit in the water for too long, so that helps it as well. In the summer, if it's a hot day and it's getting more sun, then obviously just check it and give it a little bit more water more often when it's sunnier. But otherwise, you know, it's going to be fairly tolerant to that sort of thing. So you're not going to go too far wrong. I believe there aren't too many pests that these are susceptible to. So generally, just a nice all-round plant to have such a unique look in your collection. Not a particularly expensive plant if you can find it. Let me know down in the comments. I'm sure there'll be someone that will squirrel one out from the UK. Let me know in the comments if you find one. I'm sure there are some garden centres that don't have websites that might have one or two of these in stock. If you find one, grab it, because I don't know when they're going to be back available. This whole Brexit thing has turned everything on its head, especially importation of things into the UK, and plants seem to definitely be suffering. There's a lot of things that you just can't get hold of right now. So I'm very pleased to be able to have bagged this one, and I shall be enjoying it for some time to come. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but it's definitely going to go somewhere where I can look at it all the time, maybe in my kitchen, because these curls are the coolest. I can't even remember where I saw this first, but I saw it on the old interwebs first, maybe on Instagram or or somewhere I saw it and I thought, I've just got to get me one of these because it's the most handsome looking houseplant I've seen in a while. Let me know what you think. Have you got one of these? How are you getting on with it? If you have any care tips to share with the community, certainly let us know down in the comments. We are a community after all, and so together we're going to have a better idea and a better knowledge base if we pool our resources. Now, the one thing I did mean to tell you about that you must know if you've got one of these or you're planning to get one of these is after it flowers and you get these beautiful flowers, after the flowers are done, if you start to see the leaves starting to brown up and go yellow and die back, and if all the leaves suddenly just drop off and die, don't stress it. This plant actually goes into dormancy after it's flowering, which is in the summer. We're in the summer now, which is very unusual because the plants that I know that go into dormancy usually go into dormancy over winter. This will actually go into dormancy after flowering, not always, not every year, but it's quite usual for it to flower, sort of like use up all its energy. Then the nutrients go back into the bulb, all the leaves die, then it goes into dormancy, has a bit of a rest, and then come the winter time, it's going to explode again in a fountain of frizzy spirals, which is pretty awesome. So if you've got one of these and you're freaking out because it's just a bulb and it's all died back, don't throw it away. Whatever you do, don't throw it away because it's probably just having a rest. It's probably perfectly healthy. And I'm sure a lot of people will have been absolutely disappointed that they've had one of these, it's all died, and they've said, oh shucks, what's happened? I don't understand, it's just died. Well, it's probably okay. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you haven't thrown it out yet. Put it to one side, put it somewhere where you can keep an eye on it, and in a few months time as we come into winter, don't even want to think about that, but maybe in 6 months time this is going to burst back out into life again. So well worth knowing if you're planning on buying one of these, or if you've got one, just be aware that's a thing and it's not a problem. So if you've got flowers at the moment and they go and everything else dies, not to worry, just keep hold of it, keep an eye on it. Not too much of the old water, because if it's not doing anything, it's not growing, it won't be using the water, so you're going to risk rotting the bulb if you keep watering it. So just hold back with the water. It's totally dormant, so it won't need the resources, just going to have a rest and then it'll crack on again. Just yeah, just keep the faith and I'm sure it will be back once again. So that's it pretty much. I think we've got the care guide cover for this one. An easy one to look after, a fantastically structural looking plant, definitely going to feature in my living space, and looking forward to those flowers, because that one smells amazing already. So yeah, the rest of them are going to be pretty cool. I'll keep you posted as always. I'll do an update on this one as we go along, and if we get a dormancy then I will record that and show you what's going on, so I can just document it, and fingers crossed it'll come out the other end as well. But that pretty much wraps it up. Give it a thumbs up if you've liked this video and you think the Albuca Spiralis is a cool plant. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you've got any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. I'm no expert, I'm just someone who enjoys houseplants and have been keeping them and enjoying them all my life. So if I can help you, I certainly will. Subscribe for more videos. I'm trying to get out at least once a week, if not more a week, but I'm working on that. All right, guys, thank you once again for watching, and I'll catch you very soon. Bye for now.